Kia ora, and welcome to the General District-Wide Matters webinar. I will be covering off a few topics, so feel free to skip to the one that's most relevant to you. I do encourage you to watch both the introduction and context at the end slide, however, as this is relevant to all topics within the webinar. In this webinar, I'll provide some context around what General District-Wide Matters are and how they operate within the proposed district plan. I'll then provide a bit more information of two of these general district-wide matters that may be of more interest to you, noise and signs. District-wide activities sit across the proposed district plan. This means they apply, where relevant, to all of the spatial layers, such as zones. The proposed district plan includes a number of district-wide matters chapters, including financial contributions, network utilities, renewable energy, transport, and stormwater. District-wide matters also include genetically modified organisms, hazardous substances, papakāinga, historic heritage and notable trees, natural features, and landscapes and public access. A group of chapters known as General District-Wide Matters includes activities on the surface of water, earthworks, light, noise, signs, and temporary activities. Some of these aforementioned chapters have been covered in other webinars, or more information can be found in the topic summaries. In this webinar, I will be covering off noise and signs, as these are topics that affect the vast majority of people and have not already been covered elsewhere. Turning to the topic of noise. This is quite a technically complex chapter, so I'd encourage you to take a look at the proposed district plan in greater detail should you wish to find out more. For the purpose of this webinar, I've simplified the explanation of provisions and have focused on the key differences between the operative district plan and the proposed district plan. The provisions of the noise chapter, including the method of measurement of noise, as well as the noise limits, have been updated to current international and national best practice. The placement of noise provisions within the district plan has also changed. The operative district plan has noise provisions both within the district-wide chapter, but also within the zone or spatial layer chapter. The proposed district plan contains all of the noise provisions within the noise chapter. There are some other key differences between the operative and proposed district plans when considering activities. The proposed district plan has more specific noise and vibration standards. For helicopter landing areas, the operative district plan sets the maximum noise limits that the helicopter can make, while the proposed district plan manages noise differently. A maximum in the number of times the landing area can be used and a minimum distance away that the helicopter landing must be from noise-sensitive activities. Noise limits within rural areas are similar for both the operative and proposed district plan. Temporary activity noise standards are also very similar between the operative and proposed district plan, though maximum noise limits have been slightly reduced. The noise limits for McLean Park, now within the stadium zone, have changed. The operative district plan only refers to sporting events at McLean Park, while this facility now being used for a diverse range of events, this rule is no longer fit for purpose. The proposed district plan has reduced the maximum one-off noise limit and has introduced a maximum noise limit where recordings are taken over a period of time and then averaged. The proposed district plan has introduced specific noise limits for tertiary institutions, such as schools, which recognise the elevated noise coming from these facilities. The way we measure noise at the Hawke's Bay Airport has also changed. There are now 2 noise boundaries instead of 1, and noise-sensitive activities are prohibited within the inner noise boundary. Noise limits within the mixed-use zone have also changed in the proposed district plan. A reduced nighttime noise limit recognises the residential activities that can occur within this zone, ensuring residents can get a good night's sleep without disturbance. For the Napier Port, maximum noise limits are similar between the operative and proposed district plans. However, there are differences relating to the management of this noise. If you are affected by port noise, I would strongly recommend you taking a closer look at these provisions to get a much more full understanding. The Noise Expert Council engaged to assist with recommendations for this chapter recommended introducing noise standards for the Meani Speedway. These include new noise limits for events held at Meani Speedway, including the number of events that can be held each year. The proposed district plan also identifies two noise boundaries, the Speedway Noise Effects Area and the Speedway Noise Notification Area. New noise-sensitive activities within the Speedway Noise Effects Area are required to include acoustic insulation within noise-sensitive spaces to ensure the noise levels are reduced inside these buildings. The properties containing noise-sensitive activities within the Speedway Noise Notification Area must be notified of the upcoming Meani Speedway events. The district plan has rules requiring new houses or other buildings containing noise-sensitive activities to be acoustically insulated to reduce the level of noise within the buildings to an acceptable level. The rules are in both operative and proposed district plans. However, they have been expanded to additional areas in the proposed district plan, recognising key transport routes. Finally, the proposed district plan introduces the requirement for acoustic insulation in buildings containing noise-sensitive activities within a number of zones, including the city centre, mixed-use zone, and industrial zones. This recognises that more people are living within or close to the city centre and other commercial areas, and that as these areas are typically noisier than the more residential areas, there needs to be some added protection against excessive noise for these residents. Other noise-sensitive activities can be established within the industrial zones, and these provisions protect the health and well-being of the occupants while enabling industrial activities to continue. Another general district-wide activity is the signs chapter. Provisions relating to signs within the Napier City Heritage Precinct have been covered in the Historic Heritage webinar, so won't be addressed here. In general, the provisions managing signs are very similar between the operative and proposed district plans. The two key differences relate to the stadium zone and digital signage. The proposed district plan offers greater provision for temporary signs associated with temporary activities within the stadium zone. There is also a new provision providing for digital signage within a number of zones, including industrial zones, the large format retail zone, mixed use zone, city centre zone, and sport and active recreation zone. There's lots of ways you can find out more about this topic. We have a number of topic summaries available on our website through www.sayitnapier.nz. You can also book a chat with one of the team through this website. We're also running some public open space sessions where you can come and meet the team and ask us any questions you might have. You can find out when and where these are at www.sayitnapier.nz. We encourage you to make a submission on the proposed district plan. You can do this online, and submissions are open through to the 15th of December. Thanks so much for listening.